folks, and welcome to Subjective Thoughts. And our comic for today is BRZRKR Issue 2 by Boom Studios. Now there is violence, a lot of fucking violence. Blood, guts, limbs torn of animals and humans, spines being broken, fighting, killing, kidnapping, sex, old gods, a bit of science experimentation, and more violence in this one. So if you are in any way squeamish, you have been warned. Also, spoilers. Alright, here is our team. I can't remember if these are all the same people from way back in issue 1. I really gotta go back and look. And of course, I recognize Keanu Reeves. And that's about it. I really gotta go back and look. Alright, so I finally read issue 2. It only took more than a year, because the first issue came out all the way back in 2021, which is when I read it and made a video about it. I've actually reread it last week, to freshen up my memory on what happened there. And I've read this one finally. Hey, I'm improving. It only took a little over a year. No, seriously, I will get to it now. Though, we still haven't gotten the full series out. The issue 12 still hasn't come out, from what I understand. Which is holy shit. I wonder what's been, keeping it. It's 2023 already. And March. And, perhaps this year we will, get it. I want to find out what's keeping them busy. Alright, anyway, I will leave, if I don't forget, I'll leave a link to at the end box to my first video. I'm not going to go over what happens in the first issue to not waste time. Alright, so we pick up where we left off at issue 1. We still don't get a name for our character, but the doctor did call him B. At least I think she did. One of the speech bubbles, she says something and then just B, a capital one. So perhaps his name starts with a B. I'm gonna call him B instead of Keanu, because it feels weird. Although, come on. Basically modeled after Keanu Reeves. But yeah, we're gonna call him B. So when last we left off, B remembered something from his past. First thing is that he's been alive for, 80,000 years. No, more than that, right? Yeah, it was at 80,000 years. I think so. Like, holy shit, right? Yeah, I think it was 80,000 years. And his people were called the Nomads. I'll leave it here on screen. Not sure if I read that correctly. The Nomads. Yeah, so his people were the Nomads. They, for a long time, they looked for a place to settle down. They prayed to their gods. And finally, they found a very fertile valley. It had a lake right next to it and everything. And they prospered there, but unfortunately, all the tribes from around them would raid them every season and take away all their crop and everything they worked on. And not only that, they would also kidnap women and children. And they didn't know what to do. They didn't have the power the manpower and the weapons to fight them off. And this is where we meet B's parents. His parents are two people from the tribe. And, they looked around them after the latest raid. B is telling all this to the doctor, as they are in her office, is what he remembers. And they don't know what to do, and then B's mom suggests we need to pray to the old gods to ask them to give us a weapon. And his dad says, we've been praying to them and they haven't been listening to us. And she said, well, do you have any other ideas? We must try. So she prepares, she makes a sort of concoction from leaves and herbs. The doctor asks B what was it made of, but B says that his mother was never specific, because his mother and father told him stories of before he was born and how things were, but she hasn't told him what she used. So she and her husband, B's father, they prepare. She gathers all this, she makes some concoction, and they go to, I believe, the same cave we see in the beginning, when their people first settled into the valley. Because they were in that cave one rainy evening, praying to their gods. So they go and begin the ritual. The mom's there on her own. She prepares everything, and he says, well, I trust you, I'll be right here. My love, his dad tells his mom. So she begins the ritual, and as this is happening, B and the doctor are talking a bit. Not through all of it, but here and there she asks him things. What was in it, and such. So she begins to pray, and then we see lightning, and we have quite the spread page, I'll say, where we see her, the concoction has spilled onto the floor, lightning hits. We see her starting to turn into... Well, not turn, it looks as if she's losing her physical body, and she's now made of energy. She's still in the shape of a woman, but she's kind of made of energy. It's like all spread page. There's like, on top there are small panels where you see that, and then at the bottom we see the father's point of view. He sees the cave, we see lightning hit, and this made me laugh, because we see the lightning goes, and she stands up, the mom, the lightning goes, it like goes between her legs, and if that wasn't obvious enough what's happening, they show us a go in, and we even get to see the uterus and the tubes and everything. And I'm sitting there like, okay, I get it. You don't have to be more clear than that. I get the picture. You didn't have to show that even. I understood what that meant. And on top of that, we have her, the mom, I guess this is happening in her mind. Not really in the physical world. We see this, maybe that's one of the old gods, like, made of blue energy, and he's having sex with her. I mean, shit in hell, son. They wanted to make sure we understood that one, but, I mean, come on. They didn't have to show even the uterus. I think the lightning going between her legs was clue enough to what was going to happen. But yes, the ritual is complete. She comes out of the cave, her husband supports her, and then they go back to their tent. Yes, their tent. They lie down, she asks him, do you think it worked? And, and she says, they didn't give us anything. And he tells her, like you said, my love, we have to trust the gods and wait. So they go to sleep. And then when they wake up, the mom's pregnant. I don't know, she looks about 5 months along, based on the size of her stomach. Maybe 6 even. But yeah, she's pregnant, and the dad says, our prayers have been answered to. We've gotten our weapon. And while we see this, the doctor asks, how long were you in the womb? And B answers, 2 moons. So 2 months. His mother was pregnant with him for 2 months. But again, she did look like 6 months along, so he was born when she was 8 months pregnant, maybe. Although this is a godly offspring, so fuck knows. But yes, after 60 days, he's born into the world. And his parents are holding him, the mom's feeding him. We see that he bites. Well, bites. His mom tries to nurse him, but he bites her and blood's coming out. He's drinking blood and not mother's milk. Which was... and that's actually the scene from the end of the first issue. Where his parents look down and they're shocked that he is drinking blood. Yeah, I thought this would be something completely different, honestly, in the end of issue 1. I thought maybe he was born like that and suddenly they see him drinking blood, like, holy shit. But they knew. Well, he's growing very fast, not like a normal baby. And then they present him to the tribe and telling them, the gods have heard our prayers, they gave us a weapon. And of course, you know, the tribe's a bit skeptical, but then they see little B reach his hand to the fire and touch a log, and he's fine. And obviously, after that, they're all completely convinced. So now, little B grows up. He has tremendous strength, and he has very good healing abilities. But he also has this power inside of him, and it needs an outlet. So his parents do their best to raise him, and also help him find that outlet. Now, you know, as well as they can. He has a teacher teaching him how to fight, because he needs to let it out. He actually kills a few boys from his tribe by accident. He doesn't mean to, but he has to let out that aggression. And so they start teaching him. He trains. I mean, shit, when he's a little boy, he kills a wolf that's walking around in the tribe, where the tribe is. And he's trained, and he prepares, and he tells all this to the doctor, and how he felt, and his power inside. And then we reach, give me a second. What do we reach then? A moment. I wish I could show you that page. I mean, it's been a while, but I think a few years is still too early to be able to show everything. Yeah, so he's being taught. He's taught to hunt. And also that's what his parents see his healing abilities. Okay, so where was the... Oh, right, there it is. Because they even let him, like, beat rocks. As well. With a hammer, of course. Well, a hammer from back then. And then the season comes again and the village is raided. The dad wants to send him to fight, but the mom's like, no, it's too early. So they hold him. Luckily, they don't get kidnapped. Else that would have put a damper on the plans. And, B sees all this and he says, never again. And after that, he kills his teacher while they're practicing, and his father tells him that that's it. You don't need more practice. It's over. Then they prepare, and then that's it. He starts to prepare for the final fight, or what he was created for. Ah shit! What is it? Right, that. Let me make sure that was... Yeah, alright, that's it. He's preparing. And his dad tells him, don't feel fear, son. And then in the present time, B is talking to the doctor and tells her, what my father didn't know was that I didn't feel any fear. I felt freedom. He felt free when he did that. when he, when he let it all out. What was it? Okay, yes. And then we go briefly to the doctor. Yeah, he tells her that, and doctor's like, well, how did you feel? And he said, well, I feel exhausted. And the doctor talks to some more, he's exhausted, he doesn't want to continue. And she tells him, well, great, we've made progress. We'll talk about this again. And, you've helped us a lot. And he tells her, well, don't worry. You always have wars. You're just the latest country that has a lot of wars. He's in America. Basically, he just has this constant need to fight. So, I guess it is loyal to them for that. But I don't know. If another country came out, listen, we'll have some really bloody fights for you. But yeah, that's why he's with them. He needs to keep letting it out. He needs to keep fighting. Continuing a war. Then we see, some older times of how he first, I think, came upon the U.S. Because we see all sorts of the different time periods where they're examining him, like maybe the 1800s, the 1900s. We see him in a fancy Victorian suit and army uniforms. The older stuff, and then, like, the more advanced technology that's currently in the time he's in right now. And then we go back to his, to that day. The season comes again. B's parents go to the other tribes. We want to offer you, a partnership, work with us. And the other tribes laugh at them and say, half the fun is taking it from you. Ooh, they're gonna regret it. Yes, also, I find it interesting that they don't try to kill them. His mom and dad, they just pass them by. I thought maybe they're leaving them for later. Well, later never comes, of course. So they're going into the village. We see young B standing there with a giant big hammer, an old one with a stone. Then another weapon. He's standing there. Like, this is what he trained for. This was his purpose. So he jumps, he sees them approaching, he jumps forward, and the massacre begins. He is punching through people, through horses, cutting heads, ripping limbs, punching spines out of backs, everything, ripping out eyeballs. And they're shooting at him and trying to grab him, and nothing fucking works, and he looks about 15. I don't know what hit them, and he goes through them all, and within, I don't know what, like maybe 10 minutes, everyone's fucking dead. Yeah, he's sitting there on the ground, panting, arrows in his back. His tribe, they go over and see whoever is left still alive, they kill them. He's sitting there telling us, I filled out my purpose. His mom and dad arrive. They run to him. The mom puts is wrapping some fabric on his back. Why she didn't take out the arrows, I don't understand. I know he's gonna heal, madam, but pull those out. His mother and father, they kneel next to him. They're there. And B is still talking to the doctor, and he says, I remember that was the last time I've ever felt happy. What did he say? That was the last time he felt true happiness, I think. And belonging. Was it? Yeah. Oh, that massacre. I wish I could show you. Yeah, the last time I ever felt happy. I think one of his eyeballs even got damaged. But yeah, we see a side by side On one side, it's him as a young boy. His mom has his arm around him. There's the dad. And then, like, half the face is dad, and then the other half of the face is the future. The doctor has her hand on his shoulder, and he says, the last time I've ever felt happy. And that's where the issue ends. Alright, let's go to the art. Oh, by the way, this one is shorter. The first issue had 60, what am I saying? It had 48 pages. And now this one's down to 28. So you see, this is, I think the art style is the same. So it's the same gentleman. Oh, and this is created, cover, sorry. This is his cover. We'll get to the cover. So that's the inside art. That's the cave I was telling you about. There's people. You see, that's the valley. And this is them being raided. And there you see there's B. He looks deranged here. Look at his face. Either that, he looks kind of like he really needs to take a shit. It's kind of funny. Right, the doctor tells him, because he starts the story and she said, I know this, I've read this. Like, you already told me this story. But he says, no, this time I remember more. Oh yeah, his mom told him about the days before he was born. Alright, yeah, you see that's the dock. There they are in that room. And there you see the raids happening. This is the aftermath. His parents, so that's the mom. And that's the dad. See? There they are. B looks like a mixture of them, actually, even though technically that's not his dad. But he does have his dad's skin tone and his mom's dark hair, I guess. Interesting, the dad's ginger. Yeah, there you see. Oh, you see this is a vase. I think it belonged to the way back then. Something from the old gods, perhaps. So yes, yeah, well, like, but what can we do? We don't have the weapons to fight, or the resources. And then she said, we have the gods. The gods their ancestors prayed to. I guess they shouldn't have called them the old gods, but you get it, gods. There's the art style. It's alright. Does the job. Looks quite cool with the massacre. So yeah, the art style is the same. I don't think that's changed. This cover's not bad, I'll say. It's him standing. You see he's got all sorts of weapons from different eras. That's I think that's a mace. Or maybe that's not a mace. Yeah, wait, oops. Sorry. Yeah, you got swords and everything. And him standing there. Not a bad cover, I guess. Doesn't really tell you about what's going to happen inside, though. But yeah, not bad. So, you see, we've progressed in our story. We got a bit more of a background on B in this issue. Learned who his parents were, where he came from, and how long he's been alive. I was wrong back in the first issue how long he's been alive. He's been alive a lot longer than I thought. Oops, sorry. There we go. Well, that is very interesting there. He's been alive for a hell long time. Now, before I finish the issue, I was sure that and I was not sure, but I was wondering if maybe after he, I don't know, defeated the tribe, the other tribe, his people were scared of him or something. But that doesn't look like to be the case. So I wonder if after he served his purpose, because, again, they just wanted those tribes to leave them alone. So I wonder if after that he had to leave his tribe and travel and wander away. Because like I said, he really needs to let out his aggressions, or this power inside of him that he got from the god, or the gods. So, I wonder where this will go. I look forward to find out. Because, he's essentially been wandering since, and he wants to find a way to become mortal. It's like you said in the first issue, it's not that he wants to die, he wants to be able to die. But he's not able to die, he keeps getting revived. Also, when he's a young boy, there's some panels there where we see that something's up with his cells. The healing ones, they start to turn blue. So that's the godly power inside of him, because when he's in the zone of fighting, his eyes become pale blue. Or the whole eye, not just the eyeball. So yes, so it's interesting. They're trying to find out what he is. It looks like they've been trying for a long time. The US, I mean, the team that's working with him. But they still haven't figured it out. And our doctor lady says, well, you can't be a god. I don't believe in that. But I don't know how else you explain him, honestly. What, his mom didn't dream up being impregnated in that cave, right? His dad's a regular human, so... I'd still be his dad. And yeah, it's interesting to see what happened to him afterwards. I do believe he probably had to leave, and he started traveling, and that's how he ended up all those years later. All those hundreds of years later, I should say. Even thousands, holy shit. But yeah, it's going in an interesting direction. I do wonder where this will go, though. Okay, so his end goal is to find a way to be mortal. But where would this go then? Will we see in this series that they'll find a way to make him mortal? Because they want from him to find out how to clone him, how to make people as strong as him, to have a strong army. I will say, though, that power in any country's hands is terrifying. Imagine them having super soldiers. Any other country would be fucked. So I don't know. Obviously, I don't think B really cares about that, but I would be concerned them taking all my DNAs and everything. You know, they're gonna make a whole bunch of super soldiers, and then what? But so far, they seem to not be able to find out what it is. And frankly, if it is something godlike, I don't think they ever will. But what does that mean for our boy B? Is the god that made him still out there? Will he meet him? Where will this go? Well, we have in issue 3. Are we going to have him, I don't know, we'll see more of his... Holy shit. Sorry, construction outside. Will we see... Oh, no, not construction. A bloody fucking motorcycle. Will we see more of his past, or are we going to go more into the present time now and see what he does between, going and doing military missions? How does he spend his time? Had he ever had a family? Did he ever have any children? Or was he ever married? All questions left to be answered. And I look forward to finding out the answer. Indeed. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting to see where it goes. And kind of, well, not related, that's a book, but it reminds me of The Strange Life of Addie LaRue a bit. Although in his case, he wasn't cursed. This is how he was born, but he's in a way a bit cursed because he can't die. And he constantly has this urge to fight. It's not like he can live in peace. I guess he wants to be immortal, maybe keep fighting, but eventually die. I mean, shit, 80,000 years, I think we all feel like that after so long. But yeah, that's it. We shall see how this progresses. But I enjoyed this one. I'm finally going to sit down and continue. And hopefully by the time I read issue 11, issue 12 will finally come out. Alright, folks, so that is it. Let me know. Have you continued reading the BRZRKR series? What did you think of issue 2? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Let me know down below in the comments. And that is it. Now remember, collect what you're passionate about and share it on YouTube. Bye!